Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Property Talk Live Show. Today's episode is actually a continuation of our last episode, which is our topic was buy now or wait, and the biggest real estate mistake especially the beginning of the year. So today we'll be continuing our conversation from our last session. We have some important questions that we ought to talk about, but we didn't get time. So we'll be talking about those questions today, and I have with me here my co-host that will be giving us answers to those questions.
Thank, thank you, audience and followers. Thank you. My name is Mavi Tuchku. I'm an entrepreneur and an author as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So last week we discussed about some mistakes that people make at the beginning of every wants to make a decision on purchasing a property or trying to invest in the real estate industry. And then we highlighted some mistakes and then gave solutions to them. And then we talked about how people should not make this mistake next time and when making such decisions. So continuing from last episode, the first question that I will ask you now is buy now.
Thank you very much for that question. So the point is this: there's always a second chance, and Will Rogers is an American commentator. He says, "Don't wait for the land, buy land and wait." So if you have missed, maybe you have a preferred location where you want or you wanted to buy land or probably to start your real estate dream and investments. There's always another upcoming or emerging locations that you can always um, take advantage of. So the point that we are trying to make here is this: peradventure you've missed a particular locations or property that you wanted to invest or buy to start your real estate, or you're already a very knowledgeable real estate investor. So you can always prepare and then get a good real estate professional or broker, or what we call agents or lawyer, to be able to get you another property or land, whatever the kind of property that you might have missed. So there's always a way or something else that you could always buy. Maybe you have missed that one as a result of price increase, because if you are buying today, the price of today cannot be the same thing with the price of um, yesterday. But again, there's always opportunity for you to rediscover another opportunity and then buy within your budgets and your financial circumstances. So, like we said, or like what I drive from uh, Will Rogers, you buy the land and then wait. So while you buy now, maybe in a location that you do not like, that place will eventually appreciate, because that's why we invest in the real estate in the first time instances, because the price will always increase. And when it increase, you have your ROI, return on investment. So basically, even who created us always give us a second chance. So if you miss, you can always have a second chance. And that's the reality of life. So you must be realistic that real estate, even though today that place might not be the location you want, but buy it within a short time, it will eventually increase and become a very prime location.
Thank you very much sir, for the answer. So then how can someone know if they're financially ready to buy a property now?
Yes, you cannot have complete money, or buying real estate does not mean you have all the money in the bank. Okay, what it really matters for those of us that are watching us right now, and then you are thinking on how do I start? I don't have enough money. I don't have what it takes. No, just all you need is to find start with land, okay? Buy land, and then have a stable income. If you're working class, that's already a stable income because you have certain amount of money that comes every month to your account. So you look for off-land projects, the ones that are allowed payment plan, whereby you can pay instrumental, and then over time you become owner of either land or um, a building that you call luxury apartments, or you can become owner of different kind of properties around. But the bottom line is that once you have a stable income, and then you identify the kind of property you want to buy, because you must first of all take action. The action is that identifying what you want, knowing how much it costs, and then now you begin to plan if there is payment plan, installment payments, whereby you pay instrumental monthly payment plan. And most of the developers around have those things. And peradventure you don't know how to start, you can always chat us. We will be able to guide you. And that's why we are doing this. We're doing this for those who do not understand how to start. Because the bottom line or the major setback or challenges people have is starting. So once you start, then you learn the curve, you learn the secrets, because every business has the secret and codes and how to go about it. And that's why you work with a professional. So once you identify a professional, trusted professional based on their track record and pedigree and integrity over the years, so you can be able to invest and grow your income in real estate and become successful.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So we know that there are some type of buyers who are very, very cautious when it comes to buying properties. Some people is due probably due to fear or what they heard, other people's experience that they've heard of that makes them very, very um let's say risk averse or cautious when it comes to buying real estate. So what type of property makes the most sense for buyers who are very cautious or risk averse? What type of property makes the most sense for them to buy, venture into?
Yes, like you did, let me borrow your word, risk averse. So for anybody that is, very cautious of buying property because of stories, because of bad egg in the industry, or because of maybe your friends, your relative, or business partners, or any story that you have made you to form an opinion, that shouldn't stop you. You buy with verification. You do your first verification. Buy with a clean title. What I mean by clean title, title that has no um, encumbrance. They don't have any challenges. They don't have any case or whatsoever, or somebody laying claim of those properties. So you can start with land. Buy land in a good location. Okay, you can buy off plan. The second one is you can start with an investment with off plan project. What we mean by off plan project is probably a block of apartments, luxury apartment, two-bedroom apartment, three-bedroom apartment, even one-bedroom apartment. So you can start that way because the risk factors have been taken care of by the developer. So you only buy on the paperwork, and then you can either own it or you rent it. So in that way, you start building carefully, and then still having money, because once you buy from a developer, they have timeline to deliver, and all the necessary legal things, legal areas and issues that always scare people. The developer will might have taken care of those things. And before you buy, you do your due diligence, and then you go with a professional who knows how to start real estate investment and guide you step by step. And if you need our help, we are here. And that's why we are doing what we're doing. This thing is so important, and also so people can start to grow their portfolio in real estate. And if you're already an investor in the real estate, you also, nobody's immune to risk. Okay? Nobody's immune, even the food we eat is really risk. But you do calculated risk. And that's why we are giving this information for those who are watching us and those who are following us or those who are confused that don't know what to do. So we are doing this podcast to be able to help people with right information and right step that will make them to grow and become successful in real estate. So, like I said, off-plan project is the best way. Buy land, verify documents, second one, and then of course go with invest with a trusted, reliable real estate broker or agent or company that will be able to help you to manage your property and then do the due diligence, which is very important before you invest.
Thank you very much, sir. Exactly, understand. So, how do economic conditions affect the decision to buy now or wait? Because sometimes the economy can be bad and sometimes it can be favorable in terms of real estate. Could be that maybe due to currency, what's it called, currency and the adjustments in the rate of currency to our currency, whereas other currencies are there. So how do economic conditions affect the decision to buy now or wait?
Yes, uncertainty in life is common right from the beginning. Historically, real estate is a hedge against inflation. You know, the fluctuations on the inflation, the exchange rates, and so on and so forth, the uncertainty on the economy, changing changes either by government policies or the global world um, issues. A lot of factors can, um, you know, really affect the real estate and other businesses. But the real estate are always, to some extent, immune to those things. That's why it's called hedge against inflation. So if you have funds or you have money or you are so scared or you are worried about uncertainty around the world or the country where you live, the best way to secure that money against the depreciation of your money or capital is to put it in the real estate because land, houses, properties of whatever kind, assets, property assets, always increases no matter the uncertainty of the economy. I use, for example, during COVID-19, a lot of properties, even though the world was shut down completely, the economy went down into zero level. Trade and commerce went down, but property never went down. The demand continued to increase incrementally. So, meaning if you put your fund, your money into the real estate, invest carefully with correct titles, correct selecting the best locations, which is location, 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 and you have those things in place, have a good managers or property companies to guide you. You cannot go wrong. You can always have a very good return on investment. Of course, real estate globally, generally, increases in cycle. The yearly increment of real estate of the return on investment is pegged yearly, 12 months. So every money and don't want to invest your money so that you can have interest, return on investment, 5%, 7%, 3%. Those things are the things that make money because money has to be traded with. Okay, so why do you have, because of uncertainty of the world, which is normal, because there are things you cannot control. The government can do their job, private sector do their job, world projections of the economy, but the fact still remain that the money are not meant to be idle. Money are meant to be traded and invested so that you can have a return on investment of your capital. So if you put it in the bank and then just watching every day the balance you have in your account is going down. If you put, for example, $10,000 or 10,000 naira every month, bank deducts maintenance fee. And don't forget, what you see is the book balance. The main capital are traded off or loaned to investors or loans to people who are risk takers that you're afraid of taking. So my advice to those who are listening or watching us is don't be afraid of putting your money into real estate investments because they hate against inflation. So you have your return on investment by putting the money in where it is secure, which is the real estate.
Thank you very much, sir, for that answer. So our last question for this episode is actually to direct our viewers on what to do after watching us last week and this week. As you said that this week's one is a continuation of last week's episode. So the last question we have for today is, what's the smartest first step someone can take immediately after listening to this episode? What can our viewers, those that are ready to invest in real estate this year, what is the smartest first step they can take immediately after listening to us in this episode?
First and foremost, which is one of the things we are doing already on clarity and decision. So you have to be clear. Because in life, you have to put down what exactly do you want. It's very important for those that are listening to us now. You write down in real estate, do you want to be a homeowner? Do you want to buy a home where you want to live? Or do you want to be an investor? You want to buy a property whereby you can rent out what we call rental properties. Now, third one is choose whether it is commercial, places like plazas, places like shopping malls, and so on and so forth, where people do businesses. Now, once you choose that, the next one is it residential? Do you want to start your investment where people can rent and live? Okay, so they pay you in some countries monthly payments, and some countries yearly payment rent. Okay, so once you identify those things, that's the third one and the last one, which is your budget. How much do you have? Then you begin to look at where can you buy based on what you have, and then are there room for off plan, which is what we have already talked about, where you can pay monthly. Okay, so are there room for long-term mortgage, where you can have mortgage and then you'll be able to pay in long-term 20 years, 25 years, that something years, depends on location. So if those things are available, and then are there where you can use your assets? What we mean by asset is the same thing again, boils down to real estate property. So you can use the assets, value your assets, whether bank or mortgage, commercial entities. We value your property, and you can use that as a collateral, and then they can fund that property. You pay that maybe 20% or 10%, like in Canada, it's 5% or less for payment of that property. No matter the level of properties you pay down, and then you have the financial institutions take care of the remaining payments while you spread it and they pay the interest and other necessary charges. So once you have all those things in place, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why you cannot become wealthy in real estate. All you need is the right education, right information, and right people guiding you. There are people that have been in this thing. For example, the owner of Eleganza, we know popular Eleganza in Nigeria, he owns Eleganza plazas. Those plazas have commercial rental properties that are giving him, and he was the one that built the Eleganza pen, the biro that we use. We remember that those days. He is also into plastic. Alaji Rasak is also into plastic. That was where he started the journey. But do you know what he did? He buys acres of land or hectares of land, and then he builds his factory or industry right there, and he continue his production, and then the rest he rents it out and build plazas, and people rent it, and then he's making money from his industry, producing different products, and then he's also making money from the real estate side of it, which is the commercial aspect of it. Up till now, he's still making billions of naira return on investment. Those properties he acquired 90s, in the 90s or 80s or 70s. This is 2025. He's a multi-billionaire, or even not maybe trillionaire. You go to USA, you will see the owner of McDonald's. The same pattern is we all like McDonald's. So he goes in, he buys property, he owns the restaurants, the McDonald's fast food. Then he's making money, the properties are appreciating on a daily basis. So in that way, you can never go wrong in this game. So it's something that is very important that we understand that the wealth creation is not magic. You have to be intentional, you have to really make decision, a drastic and intentional decision that will help you to leverage and then scale up and then become a very successful real estate investor or owner, as the case may be.
Thank you very much, sir. So, dear viewers, I hope that by now you already have a clear view and a clear photo of what to do when it comes to making decisions in buying the right property or investing in the right property, and then the right time that you can invest in this property. So, as you heard from our co-host, the smartest step is to get clarity to define your goals, whether you're buying a home or you're investing in real estate itself. You set a budget, choose a location, and then speak with a trusted real estate advisor, because action starts with information and not pressure. So even if you've been hearing things like bad things or bad experience that people have had in terms of real estate, you should do your own findings and then contact people that are legally invested to real estate so that they can push you to. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode. We really appreciate your support so far, and then we hope that by next session we'll be here with a specific note. Guys, like, and of course, if you have any questions regarding this topic or against the topic, you can always drop this in the comment section. We treat them in our next session. Thank you so much, guys, for joining this episode. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.